Fear. A tool our Ooga Booga ancestors used back in the days of old to warn themselves of predators. Nowadays, though, fear is a little bit more flexible and pushes us towards things that aren't quite so dangerous. Hello, and as always, I am Zero, and today I'm going to be going over some weird phobias. So sit back, relax, and grab your favorite brand of chocolate-covered toenails, and please enjoy. Podophobia, the fear of feet. Now, I know personally someone with this fear, and I gotta say, they act completely just weirded out by feet, and I have no idea why. What scares you about this? Huh? What about this? What scares you about that, huh? Tell me right now. I need to know. It's for research. The only thing scary about feet is that 9 out of 6 people don't fucking wash their damn feet. Smell like you just hopped out of a sewer and forgot to take a shower for the past 8 months. The lack of foot hygiene makes me concerned for my own health and the health of every shoe industry person ever. And if you have this fear, I get it. Too many people are sucking on toes nowadays, and I'd be hard-pressed to say I'd ever suck a toe. So now that I think about it, this fear is kind of reasonable when it comes to that, you heathens. Next up is an extremely absurd one that I cannot relate with at all, which is lutrophobia. Lutrophobia is the fear of otters, and why you'd ever be afraid of these little cuddly creatures, I will never understand. Otters are probably the cutest animal ever, other than possums. Possums are adorable, and if you disagree, eat shit. But seriously though, how can you be afraid of otters? Just look at them. They're so cute. They want snuggles. How are you afraid of that? Then again, they are kind of vicious, but we're going to just put that point to the side because it's irrelevant, and I don't want to think about it because otters are adorable and I'd let them take my life in a heartbeat. Next up is ephebiphobia. Ephebiphobia? That is the fear of youth. Literally every boomer has this fear. Or at most. I can't say all because there are the outliers that don't mind us, but like the vast majority of people have this fear. If you're over the age of 50, you probably are looking out your window and going, these damn children and their damn iPads, how dare they experience such pleasures in life? 90% of the time, that's how it goes. And there's the 10% of like stoner chill boomers and millennials that are just like, okay, this is fine. These kids are kind of like goofy as all hell, but they can pass. But I want to meet the person that's like 30 and they're afraid of youth, you know what I'm saying? Like most 30-year-olds going through a midlife crisis, they want to recapture that youth at all costs. Whether it's sleeping with some redhead down at the fucking local bar that's only 19 and you don't even know she's legal, you damn creep. Or it's going out and buying a Bugatti Veyron when you're years in debt and your mom needs a new foot. But beside the crotchety old bastards, I imagine there's some young person out there with this fear. Can you imagine just waking up one day in an existential dread and wondering why? Why has God cursed you so? Can you imagine? What a shitty luck of the draw, you know? My heart goes out to them. Now we're delving into the little bit of extremely bizarre ones, but up next is... I'm not even sure how to pronounce that. Arachibutterophobia. That is the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. Who is afraid of that? That's like the opposite of what dogs love, man. That's a weird one. That's a weird one. It's very specific too. I want to know like the origin story for some of these because I imagine it's created some villains, man. Imagine people are talking about how good a PB&J is, and then one day you go up, you make it, you put the peanut butter, you put the jelly on there, you bite into it, and then you're just terrified. What do you do then? Do you just spit it out because the peanut butter's already on your mouth? It would just be terrifying, and then you're just stuck there in this constant state of existential dread. And you're just fearing for your life, like I'm gonna die. This peanut butter's not gonna come off. What happens then? Like instant panic. You're like, nope, this is it. This is the end of the world. I can't do it anymore. Then everybody's talking about how great peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are, and you're just sitting in the back like, these motherfuckers don't even know, man. I wonder how many traumatized people that made as a kid, you know? Like, the first after-school snack is just a PB&J, and then they have a panic attack. I'm laughing, but this is actually awful. I promise it's awful. And next up, we have nomophobia, which is the fear of just not having a phone? Or a mobile phone, I guess. But, like, isn't that just our generation and millennials just wrapped up into one, right? What's the reasoning behind that? Like, I know some people are addicted to their phone, but, like, I never took that literally. I didn't think anybody did. But apparently they do, man. And hey, if you're afraid of ever losing your phone or not being without it, then I'm sorry. But, like, therapy. Therapy's all I gotta say. That's all I got for you. Next up, we have xanthophobia, which is the fear of yellow. Why just yellow? It makes no sense. Are they a Green Lantern or something? You only get that joke if you're a nerd like me. And if you are, we're friends now. But yeah, the fear of yellow. Like, why isn't any other color? But it's not red, the blood color. It's not blue, the color of the ocean. It's not gray, the color of your mom's hair. And it's not purple, the color of that creepy fuck Barney. But yellow! Then again, it is the color of Big Bird, so that's kind of understandable. I mean, if you watched Elmo or Sesame Street as a kid, you saw Big Bird, you were kind of terrified of it. I'd understand. Randomly popping out of everywhere, trying to teach you a lesson. That's kind of freaky. But like, do they just go into grocery stores and then see a banana and they're like, oh my god, wow, that banana is terrifying. I'm not trying to clown these people. And if you have a phobia of these, I'm sorry, first of all. But what the hell? The fear of most other colors I can get behind, but you hit me with the yellow and I'm like, what's going on? Next up, we have octophobia, which is the fear of number 8. This is just like the yellow one, man. Why? Out of every other number, you could be afraid of 6. 6 would be reasonable. It's the mark of the devil. Well, kind of the mark of the devil. The fear of 7. It's got sharp edges. Right? The fear of anything that's not an even number or a division of 5, but like 8. Do you know what an 8 looks like? It's just this. Is it because it's infinite? Because isn't a 0 infinite? Are they afraid of 0? I have so many questions. Why just the number 8? Like, that's a genuine question I have. Like, there's a general fear of numbers, which is arithmophobia, which is purchasing anything must be fucking hell. But the number 8? I read it could have something to do with trauma, like they experienced something in a group of 8. But like, you know how hyper specific that is? I'm focusing on this entirely too much. Next up, we have globophobia, or globophobia. It's the fear of balloons. And I kind of get this one. They could be attached with clowns, and you could be afraid of clowns, and then the clown did a balloon, and you could be afraid of the balloon that the clown created, and all that. But it's a balloon, you know? Or you could have watched the movie It, and then saw the balloons come down, and they had heads in them, and that's kind of terrifying. But it's a balloon. Is it the noise that it makes? So like the little Again, a lot of these are just traumatic experiences with those objects, but still, the situation. Can you imagine, like, someone getting them for their birthday? They just walk in like, oh, here's your balloons. Did you say balloons? And then they just have an immediate panic attack. Because I think that that's kind of sad, but also a little bit hilarious. And I'm not even going to talk about the obvious choice, which is hippopotamonstrosquiptaliophobia. I'm butchering that, right? But that's a fear of long words. It's also one of the longest words in the English dictionary. I think it's actually the longest. But whoever did that is a sadist. You're an evil bastard. It's like mine with the dyslexia. Why did you name it that? Dick. But yeah, the fear of long words, and it's the longest word. You're a sick bastard, whoever created that. I'm just gonna tell you that, and you are burning hell. Same with you dyslexia fuck. You know how many times I've had to been writing on that on paper and I just can't spell it for the fucking life of me? Then somebody goes up and they're like, yeah, this isn't spelled right. I'm like, I'm dyslexic! And the last but surely not damn least I have for this video is optophobia, which is the fear of opening your eyes. Like, why? What triggers this fear? Because I know some fears are triggered by specific things. But, like, what is this fear triggered by? Did you just wake up one morning and you're like, oh, that's entirely too bright. I feel like I just got flashbang. I don't want to open my eyes anymore. That's terrifying. Honestly, with the state of the world as it is, I can see why, you know? Like, This world's going to hell. So I feel you there, my optophobia fellow brethren. It must suck going into like surgery or anything like that. Like, or going to sleep. Because I feel like it's involuntary just to wake up in the morning and go like this. You know, like, I feel like that's just an involuntary motion that everybody does at some point, you know? So every morning, they just wake up terrified. God, that must suck. Ooh. Hey, at least they got all the power when they're sneezing. Their eyeballs will never pop out, you know? They're always closed, so, you know. But that is the end of my list. If you enjoyed, feel free to hit the like button and possibly subscribe. It's very tantalizing and beautiful, and you want it. You want to subscribe, you know? It's very lovely. It'll buy you dinner, okay? It's very generous, I promise. But as always, I've been Zero. You've been amazing for sticking around this long. I really do appreciate it. And please let me know if you have any weird or creepy phobias. Drop them in the comments. I want to hear them. But until next time, make sure you eat and drink something, you absolutely beautiful and gorgeous thick goblins.